Yeah, all right, hi. Okay, today we're starting the hexagrams in the Zodiac, and then to see, just as we've just finished looking at the Pentans and the sub-Pentans. We're familiar with the Zodiac, the Pentans, and the sub-Pentans, and in a similar way, the I Ching is another database, another set of information that follows a similar three-level pattern, and it fits in the Zodiac and has a sub-level and a sub-level, just like the Pentans. And but what this does essentially, by aligning the I Ching with the Zodiac, is it creates a Zodiac of 64 divisions. And each line of a hexagram is like a degree of the Zodiac. So the planets move through the lines of the hexagrams as they move through the degrees of the Zodiac. And as they move through the degrees of the Zodiac, moving through the lines of the hexagram, and the hexagrams, they point which lines are active and passive, which are active and which are receptive, which are creative, which are receptive. It's something we don't get normally from the degrees, so from other symbolism. So it's one of the really unique factors of working with the on a very simple level. It's something we can see through the I Ching that you can't necessarily see through the Zodiac. They're the same thing, so it's not really one or the other. It's just another layer added on. And one of the advantages of the I Ching, one of the special things about the I Ching, is that it's a book of philosophy. Its source was astrology, but about 1200 BC, it got adapted to more numerological viewpoint, and many philosophies and speculations have built up around the numerological associations of the lines and the patterns. And but it moved away from the natural cycle, which was originally linked to the Zodiac and the heavens to experience, and the spirit was in nature. They were interconnected with each other. And but the wisest philosophers and the wisest teachers in the Orient for 5,000 years have studied these things, made comments, given their interpretations, and it's all about the study of relationships. And a large part of it, family relationships, but it's nature relationships, it's characteristic relationships, and it fits, and it is astrology. It's just a different take on it. So you're getting, when we tune into the planets moving through hexagrams and moving through lines, and we go to read what they mean, we get another layer of meaning other than just the Zodiac that we're familiar with. We get another meaning of these sections. It's like words to the Pentans. It's like it explains these things in a deeper way. So this is what this today is about, to get you familiar with this. There is a worksheet, there is a booklet where you can that you can look up the correspondences of from the degree positions of your planets or your suns and see which hexagrams they're in. So that those of you in the webinar will be having this sent to you. Those who don't and who are seeing this, you can either go to the www.rasa08.com site, and in there you make an application to it and you sign up, and it comes with the materials you get for studying, and I'll try and set it up on the store so it can be purchased for a small amount. That would be www.iastrostore.com, and it should be in there under the books. It's not today, but it will be by the end of the week. So okay, this is on June 2019. So it will be there by the end of the month. Okay, so when you're thinking of cycles, when you're thinking of a cycle of a year, we have the year as one zodiac cycle. 12 months, 12 zodiac signs. 52 weeks, there's 52 weeks. There's 64 hexagrams. Okay, so similar like weeks. There's 365 days. There's 84 lines of the I Ching. So not exactly the same, but close enough to see the divisions we're dealing with within a calendar. And So again, if you can see, we relate the months to the seasons of the year, and the zodiac signs to the seasons of the year. The zodiac signs are the seasons of the year. The months have been the calendar aligned to be more or less that, but it's not as exact as the astrology, a zodiac calendar. There's weeks within the months, and there's hexagrams within the zodiac signs. Almost the same. Not exactly the same, similar. Slight different size. We have days within the weeks, and we have lines within the hexagrams. So I'm just showing these simple ideas so you're seeing the association. So it's not such a jump to look at these lines and say, what can they mean? There's 365 days in a year. There's 384 lines in the I Ching. There's 360 degrees in the zodiac, all of which measure the orbit of every year. In our calendar, our Western calendar, the months have different numbers of days to make up for the extra 5 days in a circle. So when I say extra 5 days, there's 360 degrees in the zodiac, but if you count the days, there's 365 days. So they don't fit, they get spread randomly around, not randomly, but they're spread around. That's why the months have different number of days. Zodiacs have the same number of degrees, but they don't fit exactly into the days because they don't always start. Days start at sunrise. They start at midnight or sunrise, whatever you want. You have to 24 hours. We count the days. So that's counting the days in a year. 365 on Earth. There's over 1,000 days in a year on Jupiter, and the days are only about 10 hours long. They're like, it's really different things. So different planets have different proportions for this. But on Earth, we have the 360 degrees of the circle. Everywhere there's 360 degrees of a circle. But in Jupiter, there's 10,000 days in that 360 degrees. So there's many days within a degree. In Earth, we have a little less than a day within a degree because there's 5 more days in the orbit. It's just how vast the ellipse is and the length of the day, the ellipse of the orbit. The zodiac degrees are always 360 degrees. But like I said, there's not always the exact, there isn't ever anywhere the exact correspondence into days. Different number, each planet has, in its orbit, has different numbers of days. Yeah, so each season has a different number of days in it because Earth's orbit, it's not a circle, but an ellipse. So we can see this in a little drawing here. It's a little exaggerated, but you can sort of see as it moves around. We're looking at a chart as a circle. We look at the chart as a circle, but we're really measuring the ellipse. So when we see it as a circle, we just have 360 equal degrees. But when the Earth is closer to the sun, it's moving faster and it moves through those degrees faster. When the Earth is further away from the sun, it takes more time to move through. So it seems to move slower through the degrees. So we just see the speed. If you look through an ephemeris, some people don't do so much anymore, so you might not see this, but you'd notice that the sun moves faster in the winter and longer. 57 minutes of a degree, 58 minutes of a degree in Sag and Capricorn in 24 hours, but in the summertime it moves a degree in a minute or two. So there is this seemingly small difference, but this is the amount that adds up. It's just showing the speed and the differences of speed. So, and that shows where in the orbit it is. It takes time to get your astronomy sense with the astrology, but it comes. Each degree and day can contain a different size or segment of the Earth orbit because it's not a perfect circle. It's uneven, and they all have different sizes, so each degree is unique. So that's our sort of preamble warm-up. Some of the stuff is a bit of a review for just not long, just a few minutes we go over to show how we've followed up. Really, in teaching you the astrology, I've been teaching the I Ching all along, because half of the year daylight is increasing. From December 22nd, the greatest darkness, daylight increases until June 21st. And then from June 21st to December, the darkness is increasing. So in the daylight increasing, we have the creative, active, independent side, the increasing daylight, increasing freedom, increasing activity. As the darkness increasing, you have the increasing responsibilities, increasing receptivity, the increasing socialization or communalization, and its implications. That was our first measure of the, and you see, the I Ching is measured in solid and broken lines. So it's just, as we're doing this, we're explaining the meanings of these solid and broken lines. So then we had the daylight, half of the year daylight is greater, and half of the year darkness is greater. So this is dividing it just on the amount of daylight, Before it was the increasing, the first factor was the increasing daylight or the increasing darkness. Okay, that's winter, spring, or summer, fall. Here we have the greatest daylight. Half the year, spring and summer, there's more daylight than darkness. Half the year, there's more darkness than daylight. And that's for fall and the winter. So that gave us our sense of most independent time, most freest time, most playful time, most responsible, most serious time. Okay. Now when we put those two together, we get the 4 seasons. We have the lines here representing light and darkness. The inner line, the daylight increasing, or the nighttime increasing, daylight increasing in winter and spring. It's written twice here. And in the summer, there's the broken line first, on the bottom on the inside. That's the nighttime increasing. On the autumn, the nighttime increasing. On the outside, you have winter is daylight increasing, but nighttime is greater. Spring, daylight is increasing, but daylight is greater. Summer, nighttime is increasing, but daylight is greater still. In the fall, darkness is greater, and the darkness is increasing. And this creates the 4 different textures of the seasons. Okay, so these would be called the 4 noble truths of Buddhism. We have 4 seasons, we have 4 grandparents. Yeah, this is a lot of things aligned to these implications. These are structures within the I Ching. So I'm not trying to explain all the I Ching. I just want to show how you can be, so that you can see the comfortable association with this. There will be a class after the whole webinar series that will be on maybe a 24-week class on the nature of the I Ching, looking from the I Ching, coming to the astrology, and just looking at the I Ching in itself. So here's the 4 seasons again with the light and darkness expressed, and the dates of the year. And then we went through, a couple classes ago, we went through the dividing each season in half. So we have the light and dark half of each season. So we see in the quarter, in the inner part, we see the solid broken, which represents the winter, daylight increasing, darkness is greater. But when we divide it, the first line is daylight increasing, second line is darkness is darkness is greater, and the third line, but this is the dark half of that section. It divides, and you have daylight increasing, darkness is greater, but daylight, this is the light half. So it divides into a light and dark half of each season. This is distinctly noticeable, and we feel it. And these are the 4 points of the basic religions. Do we have it in here? No, I don't. Okay, but here you see the dark half, light half of each season. And these, so originally there was a zodiac of 8 divisions. It became 12 at a later stage. They added the 12 to make it fit to the number 12. They added the 12 constellations, but there was astrology long before there was the 12 signs of the zodiac. The 12, there was 4 portions. There were the constellations, and they were grouped. They had their 12 things and others, and they could be put into these. They would fit into these sections as well.